So today at Park Farm we are planting wheat. But before we can plant the wheat we have to turn the soil over. So that's what this first machine's doing here. This is a tractor and a plough. And you can see it's turning the soil over so we have a nice fresh start. And you can see all amongst the soil where there's all of the last year's organic matter still in the soil, and worms, they love all this. So the first process is ploughing it over, but with the soil like this it's far too rough and bumpy for the seeds to be planted in, so we need to make the soil nice and fine. So as we walk over, now you can see the difference. Now this side has been cultivated with what we call a power harrow, so it's finer than what it is where we were ploughing. So you can see the difference, you can see the line. And in the distance there are two other tractors with power harrows on the back, making the seedbed nice and fine for when I come along with the drill to plant the wheat seed. So here are the two tractors with the power harrows on, turning the soil from the ploughing to a finer seedbed. So we've seen the land getting ready for the wheat to be planted. So this next machine is the drill that we use for planting the seeds. So we'll have a quick walk round and I'll show you how this machine works. So it's quite a simple process really. The big hopper or the tank is where we put the seeds, and that holds about 2 tons. So 2,000 kilos of seed goes in that main hopper at the top there, and into the computer inside the tractor we put a calculation or a seed rate, so how many seeds we need to plant per hectare, and then that gets metered out of the drill right down the bottom there, and that's the metering unit. And then it gets blown, once it's been metered, it gets blown through these pipes, down the pipes till the end, and then it gets blown out of the bottom of the tube is what we call the coulter. So that's the disc that makes the groove, and then the coulter follows it and blows the seed down the bottom of the groove, and then it's covered up at the back with these covering harrows. So it's firmed to push it into the moisture, and then it's covered with the harrows at the back. For this drill we can also cultivate a bit at the front, so these discs spin round and levels the soil to make a nice seed bed ready for the coulters to plant it, the tyres to firm it down, and then the harrows at the back to cover the seed up. We also have another hopper on the back, which we can put some powdered weed killer in, and that's the same principle. So we put a seed rate into the we put a rate into the computer. It's metered through the metering system, and then gets blown up to the distribution head at the top, and then down these pipes, and that gets blown out and makes a covering of soil on top, and then the water and the moisture seals the weed killer in. So now we can have a walk round. We can have a walk round the front, and we can climb up, and we can see the seed, the pink seed, inside the grain hopper. There you go, you can see the two distribution heads, one for each side of the drill, and you can see the pink wheat seed in the bottom of the hopper. This drill is 6 meters wide, and on a good day when the conditions are good, we can hopefully drill about 150 acres in one day. And now you can see the field that we're in. It's about 80 acres, or about 30, just over 30 hectares, 34 hectares, somewhere around there, 32 hectares. The seed wheat that we're planting today gets delivered in these big bags hung on the front of the teleporter. Each one of these bags holds 500 kilos of seed, and as you can see in the side of the bag here, you can see all the seed wheat in the bag, and you can see it's pink in colour, and it's pink because it comes to us applied with a seed dressing to stop pests and diseases nibbling at it or infecting the little wheat plants when they're in the soil. So each one of those bags, like I say, holds 500 kilos, or the equivalent to 500 kilo bags of sugar. And these bags, or well, all of our seed gets delivered from a specialist seed merchant in the local to where the farm is. So we're now in the drill tractor, and I follow a little mark in the soil which is made by the marker on the side of the drill, so I know every 6 meters. And then this is the drill controller that I was telling you about, and basically all it is an iPad with an app downloaded from the iStore, and then that links into the drill behind. So this screen here is telling me seed rate, which is 240 kilos. It's telling me that we've drilled 17.96 hectares. We're putting 15 kilos a hectare of the weed killer on. The fan is doing 3,500 RPM, and it shows me which marker is out at the moment. So you can see the little drill diagram of the little green arms telling me that the left-hand marker is out, and then the green bars are just telling me that the meter units are going round. And then if we look behind, you can see the drill behind and the marker arm, which is leaving the mark, and the discs at the front are just levelling the soil, and you can see the pipes where the seed is blown down and it gets put in, planted into the seed, and then levelled and covered at the back. And you can see also, if you look at the front, it is, you know, even finer planting conditions once the drill has been over it. So there you go. So we've seen the ploughing the soil distance, then the power harrows, and then myself drilling and planting the seed. So that is how we prepare the soil and plant our wheat, ready for the forthcoming harvest. Good morning everybody, it's Farmer Jim here at Park Farm Thorney. I thought I'd just take this opportunity to come back to the field that you saw me plant back in November, just to see how the wheat is growing. And it's now early March, and you can now see all of the wheat seed that we planted has all germinated and is all growing. And each individual little plant has got all these tiny little tillers, and each one of those tillers will produce a stem of wheat, and at the end of that stem there'll be a big fat juicy ear full, hopefully, of wheat, of nice plump wheat seed to be milled into flour for bread. So you can see the whole of this field. There's an aeroplane. There's an aeroplane up there just going over. So this field is about 86 acres, which is one of the biggest fields here on Park Farm. It starts right over there near those buildings and follows the tree line all the way round, right the way round. So this is a really big field. So you can see the wheat growing nicely, and you can see these two marks where there isn't any wheat, and that was done intentionally, so we can see where to apply fertiliser, which is sort of plant food to make it grow, and some sort of medicines to keep the plant nice and healthy. So this field will be checked every fortnight, every 2 weeks. We'll have a crop doctor come out, which is known as an agronomist. So he'll come out every 2 weeks and check the little plants to make sure that they're nice and healthy and green and growing well. And sometimes if they're not, they might get poorly, and we need to put some chemicals on just to make them nice and green and better, and to get rid of any illness that the plants develop. So these lines are called tramp lines, and that's where the fertiliser spreader and the sprayer will run, and they're spaced every 36 metres. That's how wide the sprayer is, and that's how far the fertiliser spreader is to put on the fertiliser. So I hope you've enjoyed my little video, and we will come back to this field in a couple of months' time when it's a bit taller, and I'll show you where the ears have developed, and we can see where the wheat is. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good day. Bye.